What's your experience going to therapy? How would you describe what a session consists of? I've seen tons of therapists. They've all had different styles, but in general it's just having someone unbiased I can talk about my thoughts and darkest shit with, who will offer me a unique perspective. How are you doing? What was your week like? Do you feel like harming yourself or others? Shit like that. As a teen it was horrible. My therapist believed I needed to admit my part in being molested, as if a 4-year-old could actually consent to that shit. As an adult, it's been great. I look forward to our sessions. We go over any problems from last week and try to find solutions. I use her as a soundboard to how I want to handle my relationships, and she calls me on my shit if I'm being a turd. My current therapist is the perfect fit for me, but it did take me 2 in the past and periods of none in between to realize what works for me. My current one lets me guide the conversation and always helps me find what works best for me to ease my mind and find solutions. If it's something she can tell is overwhelming for me, she will give me something to focus on or work until our next session, which is so helpful. The best therapists are cognitive behavioral ones. They teach you how to deal with your problems. I've never gone to a therapist before but have always thought about it. I just don't open up to people and feel like I already know what they will say. If that's what they even do. They ask you questions, let you talk about what's bothering you, gives you suggestions on how to improve what's bothering you. Therapy can be helpful at times. Most of the therapists I've encountered so far have been pretty chill. They really just ask you questions, and if you're not really opening up to them, they start answering your questions with questions. I've had 2 so far. That's been really creepy though. It's really your own speed and comfort level. They're going to ask you open-ended questions and see where you take it. I've had 4 that I know of. The first, I believe I was too young mentally to actually indulge in the help given. The sessions were just me playing games with the therapist. The second one was nice and very calming. Best I've had. I actually made good progress and opened up. But unfortunately the therapist moved away. Third was alright but fell off when COVID hit. Since I'm terrible at anything over video chat, sessions became bland and repetitive. And I stopped opening up about myself in favor of just saying that I was doing fine and nothing unusual or bad was happening. The fourth and most recent one. I quit after 2 days. It wasn't accessible for in-person and the sessions felt awkward and janky. Like I barely wanted to be talking with the person on the other end. The therapist themselves made me feel off. Like it was a teacher-student relationship rather than a patient-doctor one. I've gone through several therapists over the years and it always feels like I'm just meandering and end up in circulate patterns without any improvement. Just feels like I'm paying $150 to vent to a friend. This has happened with a variety of therapists over the years. Maybe I'm just untherapyable. Depends on the therapist. One was very engaging and I learned a lot. Another was just like a shock jock saying random stupid things. After I left, my therapist jumped out of a window and landed on my car.